Hey, name's Evan. Who was going to tell me that King of the Hill was actually just peak? It was actually just a hilarious show. I've been digging into it recently because the new season dropped, and I didn't want to watch the new season until I got a little bit of a feel for what the original show felt like. And so I've been watching. What I like to do is I'll look up on IMDb, like, the top rated episodes of that show. Since most shows, if it doesn't have like a concurrent story, like regular show or Adventure Time, like there is a story, but it's not exactly, you could watch like in the middle of the show and it doesn't affect your viewing experience. So I was watching some like of the higher rated episodes in the show. This shit's hilarious. I mean, of course, the highest rated episode is that one where Bobby Hill, he wants to take self-defense classes because there's a bully or something like that, but he's not allowed to go into the self-defense classes that he wants to go into, so he goes into a women's self-defense class and just learns to kick people in the nuts. And the whole episode is just him kicking people in the nuts. Which is, like, you love a good dick and balls joke. That can never get old. But all I ever knew about King of the Hill, because I never really watched it. Whenever it came on, it sounded boring and unappealing at first, because that's what it's supposed. It's like that's the mask it's wearing. It seems unappealing until you really dig into it. The show is goddamn hilarious. All I ever knew about it was like, you think I know what a JPEG is? I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog. Like that's literally the only words I have known that have left this show. But there's so many bars. This show is hilarious. And I have to say, Bobby is easily one of the best characters in the show. The kid, the son of Hank Hill. But I decided to dig into the new season after watching a little bit of the older ones. And it's very highly rated. And understandably so. It is funny. But oh my god, is it a culture shock how cringe it is. It is extremely cringe, but it's cringe in ways that, like, if you were to have been a person my age watching this show when it was releasing back then, you would have been experiencing the same cringe, and it's just aged differently. Like, now I'm watching it, it's not cringe, those older episodes. Because, like, they reference shit like Netflix, they reference shit like Whataburger, that's not old, but, like, you know, like, they reference, like, every location is a real location. It feels like you're experiencing the show in the real world, despite the fact that it's absolutely fucking absurd. Like how, Hank's boss, frames Hank for murder. Got hair in my mouth. Why'd you do that? Stop it. Anyway, excuse that. Hank's boss frames him for murder because of a whole debacle. It's one of the higher rated episodes. In fact, I don't want to spoil it, so I'm going to let you guys figure out what happened and what went down. You'll figure out in the next episode of Hank Hill, of King of Hill. Anyway, but, like, and also, like, Hank's dad is just, like, awful. Just a horrible person. There's so many hilarious bars. Like, there was one talking about how he was a war hero, and he went to Japan. War hero. He murdered. He's like a war criminal, basically. He went to Japan and ended up having a kid with a Japanese lady. And the whole episode wraps around that, them going to Japan and like, again, later in life. And you meet, like, a Japanese Hank Hill, which in and of itself is extremely unsettling and hilarious in its own way. And, like, there was one part, they're like, how many people have you slept with? Talking to his dad. His dad's like 273, and they keep going and just talking. Like that was the conversation. It's like the show. It's like watching I want to say a Moist Critical video where it's like everything's really mundane, but then occasionally there's this spike of just like, what the fuck you just say? What was that? Play that back. Run that back. What was that again? Like that's kind of how this show runs. So when you watch the newer episodes, it was extremely off-putting seeing shit like how they talk about hookup culture. Bobby's talking about what was it? Like they talk about like soy and like there's an episode where there's an Andrew Tate. There's an Andrew Tate in one of the episodes, and the whole episode is Hank Hill basically just like, because the whole idea with Hank's character is he's like a clueless conservative man that has all the conservative ideals, but once he's put into a situation where his beliefs are challenged, he more often than not takes the progressive route, which is very interesting. I find that interesting about his character. And so he takes this guy, this kid who is technically his stepbrother, or not stepbrother, his like. Yeah, his dad had a baby with another woman, one of the 273, surely. And, of course, he names that kid Good Hank, because he's an asshole. His dad's a horrible person. And so he takes this kid, trying to, like, mesh with him. He hears about this Andrew Tate-ass class talking about, like, family values and religion and faith. And he's like, wow, that sounds awesome. Let me take him there. And you realize they're all just incels who hate women. And so Hank just, like, breaks them down. Like, that was interesting and topical. So it's really cringe. Like, I bet in 15 years I'll look at that and be like, that's when the thing happened. That's the thing that happened. That's when that... And so that's what I found very interesting. But what else? There's another topical one. I can't... You know what? I'm clicking on this thing because I want to see. What was the newer season? I'm going to sit and yap so it seems like there's actually sustenance happening right now. And in reality, I'm just moving around. Oh, yeah, the stock market and like crypto. That was like roughly, not really crypto, just like stock market and how it's like all fake because they start a pig extermination company, or some of his friends do. He doesn't join in on it. They start a pig extermination company, and they don't actually do anything except take a loan out, and the stock starts going up, and they're taking in investments, and then right as they are like all celebrating, and then Hank invests in it, it just plummets because there was no product. Just like most of the stock market, it's just it's rich people trading money. So I thought that was pretty funny. They do a really good job at giving parallels to the modern day. Like, there's a big time jump between the original show and the new season. And in this time jump, one of the guys, Bill, between 2020 and 2025, because of COVID, like there's an unspoken COVID arc that must have happened off screen. He just stayed inside and watched the entirety of Netflix. He dropped this really funny bar where he was like, "Yeah, did you know that like he's like morbid, like he's as large as the bed, like that." The show comes back to him being as large as the bed with a giant beard. He's like, "Do you know if you finish the entire Netflix catalog, they give you a thing called a wellness check?" Still haven't figured out what that is. Like, that was hilarious. That was funny. I like that. Got a little giggle out of me. Conjured a bit of a chortle. So, yeah, basically this is me just saying that I'm bouncing on it. I'm bouncing on Hank Hill right now. I'm sure that he would absolutely despise that. The idea of any gay relationship, he'd be like, "That's not what the Bible says." And then he figures out that they're like nice, like everyone's human and just love is love. And he's like, "Oh, wow, I can get behind this." Like that didn't happen. Although it could have. I don't know. The show is extremely progressive despite its mask appearing not that way because it takes place in Texas. Anyway, it's just such a good show. I really enjoyed it, and I'm going to watch more of this. I plan to watch the episode that has the, "You think I know what a JPEG is?" Like, I don't know which one that is, or apparently he wants a picture of a hot dog. I'll figure that out. We'll figure it out in time. Anyway, I just want to talk about that. It's a pointless yap. I hope you enjoyed it anyway. As always, my name is Evan. I got these Halloween Pokemon cards that mean nothing to me because I don't collect them anymore. And bye-bye.